Hello and welcome back once again, guys. What's up? This is Keon here and you're watching videos in your day-to-day life. Alright, so today in this episode, I'm going to share with you some tips and topic about photography and videography. Mainly, the topic today is about depth of field. Depth of field simply means that between the front object and the back object, there is a certain focus. All right. Okay. So you guys probably have seen image like this, video like this, where the foreground object is in focus and the background is out of focus. So how actually this kind of things and this kind of effect can be achieved? All right. How does it really works in technical? All right. So today I'm going to explain to you how this really works by using the professional cameras and as well as the phone cameras, right? Alright, so right here I have a Canon DSLR EOS 760D, alright? And DSLR is a camera where you can interchange the lens, alright? These are the lenses that you can change. So, and the question is, does DSLR allows us to create image or video which has depth of field? All right, the answer is only partially yes. Right, partially yes is because it has to incorporate the camera and as well as the lens. All right, so it is pretty useless to have a camera body, but the lens has a limitation. All right, so for example, the kit lens that you probably buy that comes with the body normally, which is the aperture, can only go as low as 3.5. all right, there are numbers in the lenses. All right, the aperture function and the aperture numbers can go as low as 3.5, some 4. Okay, that kind of lens cannot achieve much based on depth of field. All right, so you won't be expecting to create an image or video which is you have a very sharp foreground and a very blur background. Okay, that is because the lens is not allowing you to do so. All right, what makes a focus very shallow is the aperture of the lens. All right, I'm going to turn the camera around and show you what I mean. If you see through this lens, this is the lens aperture. You can see a tiny little hole there. Okay, and if a lens that is built with a very big aperture, which is the number is pretty much low, this lens can goes down to 1.8. all right, so if we were to go all the way down to 1.8, look what is happening. All right, this is what affect the imaging and the depth of field. As you can see, it's fully open right now. Okay, and this is what makes the shallow depth, makes the focus really shallow. All right, so only a small amount of object can be focused rather than everything can be in focus when we actually close this fully like this. All right, so if we close this fully like this, everything will be in focus. All right, even the background and the foreground will be fully in focus. Okay, so this is the difference, and this is a knowledge that you guys should know if you guys are new to photography. All right, these are the things that can allows you to create a very shallow depth or a very clear image which is no depth at all. All right, so it's purely based on the lens. Of course, you need a DSLR body so that you can interchange the lens. All right, to get a lens where you can have a very shallow aperture, right? Very huge aperture. This one goes down to 1.8. all right, as you can see here, 1.8. all right, this is a 50mm lens, right? So the lower the number, the bigger the aperture. So this is like our eye. All right, in a very bright situation, right, it will close up like this. All right, in a very dark situation, the aperture opens to actually get in more light. All right, so that's the main functionality of this. All right, besides having the focus, the functionality is also to absorb lights, right? The more darker the environment, all right, you use this to compensate and open up, the more lights can go in, all right? Compared to a 3.5 aperture lens, where you're probably going to face pretty headache situation when it comes to low light situation. Okay, so you have a lens like this, you can actually open up really huge to let more lights come in, and hence you can actually capture in a very low light situation, but you also compensate the depth of field. All right, so back then when we shoot video using this kind of very huge depth of field lenses, we need to manually focus them, right? Because once the object move a little bit front or back, it will go out of focus because the focus is very shallow. But not to worry these days, where imaging technology is getting better these days, where actually a lot of DSLR or semi-professional cameras, they have a autofocus which is really, really good. All right, so if you get a newer version of this DSLR and stuff, they have really good autofocus system. Even though you have a very shallow depth of field lens like this, it will also help you to track the focus and the object, right? They have face detection and things like that, so it's pretty much easy, I would say, these days. It's not as difficult as back then, where every single thing needs to be manually done. All right, so now that is a professional camera in terms of achieving depth of field. You guys may be asking, what about phone cameras, right? How phone camera these days can be achieving such an effect as well? Well, there are two kinds of phone cameras. Certain phone cameras, they are built in with really low aperture lens, which can pretty much create a similar effect, which is similar to the DSLR, but most of the cameras on the phone these days incorporate with their software, which is their AI technology, which the way of blurring things out, creating that depth of field kind of image, it's artificial, right? It's really artificial, which what is done in a phone camera is basically they will track based on the face detection, and they will crop things out, and what they'll do is they will blur things beside everything which is out of this face image, right, which is beside, it will get blurred off. Okay, so it is not blurring off the background, but rather it's blurring off everything at the side. All right, so the disadvantage of an AI system will be, because it is done on software, and it is the AI is not so intelligent. What happens is, as we move, all right, sometimes as we move, the tracking, all right, the system can't really follow as quick as our movement. Sometimes the blur will actually affect like our ears, right? If we are shooting ourselves and we move quite a lot, it will affect our ears, our ear area, or our hair will get blurred off and things like that, because it is not blurring off the background, it is blurring off things beside everything which is aside from the face detection. It is blurred off. All right, so that is the main difference. All right, and if it is picture, it is 100% okay. All right, picture, because it is static, no problem at all with that, right? Because you don't have movement, whereas a video, we have movements and things like that, so the AI probably can't act as fast as it could, especially in low light. That will actually give us a really huge problem. All right, so that is why when people start off with mobile phone filmmaking or video creation, up to a certain extent, they felt that there is a need to have a camera which can achieve really, really shallow depth, so that the image looks much more stunning and nicer. All right, so next time when you guys would to go and get any camera, all right, you guys can actually look for what are the specification for the lens. If so happen that you're gonna get some camera which is semi-professional, which is not interchangeable, at least you can find out how shallow the depth of field or how low the aperture can go on the built-in lens. All right, if the built-in lens can go as low as 2.0, 1.8, that's wonderful. But you also need to make sure that the manual functioned menu allows you to control the aperture. All right, so because many semi-professional camera or many amateur cameras, they doesn't allow you to have too many manual controls. The function is just to make your life easier. So if you have a camera which is the lens is not interchangeable, but in the same time you can't control the aperture is controlled by the environment, then it's pretty much also no point, right? You can't do much. So now that you got this piece of information, so it's good for you to know, even if you are not getting a DSLR for yourself, you're getting a semi-professional camera or a fully automatic functional camera, you know what affects the depth of field. All right, so even if it is in a mobile phone, all right, when you are looking for a mobile phone specification, you can also look at the specification of the camera lenses, how low the aperture can go and things like that. All right, so that's all for my sharing today with you guys in regards of depth of field. So I hope you guys benefit from this sharing, and if you guys find that this video has a lot of value, be sure to share this video to your friends so that they can have this piece of information as well. All right, and not to forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow my Facebook, and as well as my Instagram, and do not forget to follow the Telegram group, because each and every time when I release a new content, I will first post and notify my members in the Telegram group. You can find the Telegram link somewhere around this video description, and I hope to see you there, and I hope to see you in the next video. All right, see you guys once again. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.